What's next? What is the meaning of life? Sales. I've been rolling around this concept in my head. And a good salesman, that is basically what we all strive to be. I'm not talking about a used car salesman or a guy who sells products. We all must learn to sell a concept or an idea to other people. We all must convince other people how we're right. And there are certain people who have that ability, who have that confidence in what they're talking about and know how to present it. Not so much present something that later you realize, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. But someone who presents you an idea or a concept or even a product, and at the end, you fully accept it, you enjoy it, you feel ahead by that transaction, and the perfect salesman is so good that people actually line up to work with him because he knows how to connect you with what you truly need. And that's why we must be our own best salesman. We must find what we truly want and connect ourselves the easiest way possible from where we are to where we want to be. And of course, that's like, wait, of course, that's what we want. I mean, we want the easy path to get to where we want to be. But the salesman knows how to get it in the way that has the least amount of effort and that you're happy getting there. And that's the funny thing about life, is that we're all striving to find our way, and we have all these people in our lives, all these, for a better example, used car salesmen who after you drive off the lot you realize you've been duped and you were presented with something that isn't exactly what they sold you. But sometimes you meet the salesman who gives you something at the end of the transaction. You are so happy to have this transaction. You're happy to work with him. That it was never a game. It was an easy, effortless process. And in life, we're presented with so many. 99% of the people we meet are salesmen who are trying to dupe us, who are trying to push a con over us. And that's why we have a negative aspect, a negative thought pattern towards salesmen. But the really successful salesmen strive to work on commission because they know they're going to be successful. But then people who start in sales, realize I can't afford it, I can't get the right position. And of course, the sales companies themselves are the biggest scam artists of them all because all they care about is the money in the end. But they don't know who the best salesmen are. They don't know who could strive. They're looking for the person at the end of the day who can sell ice cubes to Eskimos and have them happy about it. So companies will recruit all the salesmen they can and don't care. Don't care how honest they are. Don't even care how successful they are. They just want the money at the back end. And companies are always making the money. So I guess the companies are the worst salesmen. And us at the lower end, the day-to-day life, we have to learn to be our own best salesmen. How to find our path between what we truly want and where we are. And then connect the two in the most compassionate, effortless, effective way possible. And I think I've took me a long time to figure that out. That you can get everything you want as long as you bring forth a compassionate thought process, an effortless thought process, and an effective thought process. Now they're going to have some people come to you and say, well, that mindset won't work. You're living in a fantasy world. But it's not so much the fantasy world. It's all about being open to the opportunities. As, quote, obstacles are thrown in your path, you study each obstacle and realize, wait, this obstacle might be an opportunity. There might be a better way of doing this. This obstacle might not even exist. It might be made up. It might be thrown in my path by someone else in their poor perspective, or it might be from my own previous poor perspective. And as my best self, my own personal salesman, I find my best path above, under, through, around, or pick up that obstacle and use it for a future lesson. And sometimes the obstacle it's a tool. But you don't know that until you study it with an open, compassionate mind. And maybe I'm talking around in circles, and maybe I'm just still have to hash out this thought process, but that's what these videos are for me to hash out these ideas. Because I'm not a salesman. I have took a long time, most of my life, to build up my own self-confidence and realize there are two kinds of people. People with self-confidence and people with arrogance. And arrogant people pretend they have self-confidence, but the arrogant people don't have any self-confidence, and that's why they're so loud and so much bravado, because that's how they get successful, because they can convince people and they can go further. Well, the people who have self-confidence, who know what they're talking about, and just pass through life because they have the self-confidence to present what they know in the most compassionate way possible. Self-confident people have compassion, while narcissists tend to be arrogant. And there's a balance, because we all have a little bit of both in us. True compassionate people don't want to take advantage of anybody, but sometimes we think we're pushed in that direction. But we don't have to be pushed in that direction. We can just take a time, study the obstacles in our lives, and turn them into opportunities. But that's just my idea. I would love to hear anyone else's. And maybe you could sub to this channel, make a comment, ring the bell, or do whatever what you really want to do. But it's all up to you. What's next?